Hello, welcome to Now Tell Us. And this is where I welcome each and every one of you to come and tell us something good, something inspiring, something educative. And every single day that we've been here, we've had a guest. So today is no exception. We have a great guest with us. And when I say great, it's a great guest. And we are going to have a great time here uh, talking about being your best you. And the guest that is going to drive into that direction is none other than Madonna Hanna. Welcome to the show, Madonna.
Thank you so much, Anthony. I am so glad to be a guest on your show called Now Tell Us. So I want to say hello to all of your viewers who can see us and hear us. And yes, we're going to talk about being the best, be your best you. Yes, indeed. So, Anthony, how are we going to kick this off? Where are we going to go?
Yes, we're gonna go in the direction of being our best we. But before then, let's talk about Madonna. That's a good name.
Well, my parents gave me that name,
Yeah.
Madonna.
Hmm.
And of course, once the singer came along, well, my life really got very, very interesting because Madonna's first song, I think, was Celebrate. And there were people that I went to high school with who were like, wait a minute, is this the person I went to high school with? Because not that many people know somebody named Madonna. So
Hmm.
it just became very, my life has become very interested being connected with her. And Anthony, if you can believe it, some people have even asked, are you related to Madonna? Come
Hmm.
on. And I'll say, well, if your first name is Linda, are you related to everybody whose name is Linda? Come on.
It's good they
uh,
asked you that, so because you're gonna tell us whether you are or not. Okay.
yes, yes. And people often ask me if I can sing, and I say no. Uh, I usually just speak. My thing is speaking, but right now I am not a singer. I'm not climbing the charts anywhere with any number one, two, three, or four hits. But I would like to talk about some of the things that I found out that I was good at,
Mm-hmm.
and also want to, of course, share why it's important to be your best self and to kind of step out of your box, step out of your own perceptions sometimes, just to find out more about yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Anthony, while we were waiting to come on the air, you said that when you first started your podcast, you had authors. I didn't know that. And I do have a book. This is my children's book called Mommy, Why Are My Eyes So Big?
Mm-hmm.
And the reason I wrote this book
Mm-hmm.
was because, one, I was bullied as a child because of the color of my skin. I was raised in a very conservative white suburb of Boston, Massachusetts. And just so that your listeners and viewers know, I'm in the United States right now. It's
Mm.
early in the morning. So let's get that out of the way. I'm
Yeah.
actually in the Pacific Northwest right now,
Good
but I was
morning.
raised on the East Coast of the United States
Okay.
in Massachusetts. And life was not easy. When you're the only person who looks like you, it's easy for you to be picked on.
Mm-hmm.
I did not know later on in life that I would write a children's book. And the concept of this book, yes, the title is Mommy, Why is, but it's Mother Nature who is giving children answers to usually things that they're picked on about. Like,
Mm-hmm.
for instance, with me, since I was picked on because of the color of my skin,
Yeah.
this particular page says, Mommy, why is my skin this color? The
Mm-hmm.
answer, my gorgeous child, your skin is a reflection of the beauty of nature in all of its shining glory. Whether it's gold, bronze, ivory, ebony, or copper, you must always be proud, my child.
Mm-hmm.
And and when someone says something like that to you, it's like, whoa, this is pretty good stuff. I'm special. No
Mm-hmm.
matter what color you are, you're special. Another thing that I've addressed is sometimes children are picked on because, oh goodness, they've got big feet, they've got big ears, or they have some sort of a special needs.
Mm-hmm.
Now, for people out there who may have big feet, now I know that in the past, children have maybe asked their parents, why do I have big feet or big ears? And they'll say, you know, everybody on your father's side has big ears or big feet. And,
Yeah.
and this poor kid is like, that's not answering the question.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought,
Yes.
well, if you ask Mother Nature, she would say to leave impressions that are bold and forceful, to lead the way for others to follow.
Mm.
Right? And then, I've seen children just kind of look at their feet and go, yes, I'm going to be a leader because I'm going to leave footprints that people can follow. Can you
Mm-hmm.
see how a child's self-esteem, is turned around now instead of, everybody in our family has big ears. Come on.
Mm-hmm.
Let me give you one more. I've had an opportunity to do a fashion show for people with special needs, whether
Okay.
they were whether they were blind or had Down syndrome or autistic, just very various disabilities. And so I've included that in my book too, because I was so inspired by them. And
Mm-hmm.
this page is, Mommy, why am I blind?
Mm-hmm.
My precious darling, you are blessed with the most honest gift of sight. You will never be able to judge a person by the color of their skin, height, weight, or physical imperfections. You have the ability to see into the heart, and that is the very best way to accept others.
Mm. Beautiful.
Yes, and and
Mm-hmm.
I and I never would have written that if I had not experienced having a young man who was blind in one of my fashion shows.
Mm-hmm.
You see, we never when in fact, let me even talk about that. Me being my best me, I do have a background in the fashion industry, in retail management, as well as the design office of a national women's apparel manufacturer.
Mm-hmm.
And then I went on to teach fashion marketing. And I've been involved with fashion shows, I'm going to say, since the age of maybe 2 or 3. Because
Mm-hmm.
my first fashion show, I was in a church fashion show. And there I was. It was Easter, and you're all dressed up, and yeah, you hit the runway in church.
Mm-hmm.
Then later on, I became very good at coordinating fashion shows and commentating fashion shows. And of course, as an educator teaching fashion marketing in America, one of part of your curriculum is being able to coordinate fashion shows, show students how to do that.
Yeah.
As I said, that's one of the things that I'm very good at.
Mm.
I was asked to put on a fashion show using people with disabilities as models.
Mm-hmm.
Anthony, I'm going to tell you something. At first, I didn't want to do it. And you know why?
Tell us.
Because, yeah, tell us. That's the name of the show,
Yeah.
isn't it? Deep down inside, I was scared because it was something that I had never done before. I had not worked with people with special needs. I had not had any kind of connection with them. Yes, I knew how to put on a fashion show. Yes, I knew how to teach my students the various parts
Mm-hmm.
of putting on fashion shows. I had coordinated fashion shows for 5-year-olds to adults, but
Mm-hmm.
never anyone with a disability. I almost shortchanged myself. Sometimes people do that
Yeah.
because remember, be your best you.
Mm-hmm.
When somebody offers you an opportunity and you go, oh gosh, I can't do that. Oh, you haven't even given yourself a chance. You have to realize that the person who is asking you, they see something in you.
Mm.
They see something.
Mm-hmm.
That's why they offered the opportunity. They came to you. So you have to think about that.
Yeah.
Or sometimes people say, why are you asking me to do that? Right? Why are you
Mm-hmm.
asking me? You're
Happens all
being
the time.
asked, you're being asked because someone saw something. They saw an ability. They saw that you have a chance to make a difference. You have something to contribute to what's going on. And
Mm-hmm.
sometimes we do not stop and think about that because the first thing we're thinking about is us. Well,
Yeah.
I don't want to do that. Why are
Yeah.
you asking me? Right? That just pops right up.
Mm-hmm.
I thought about it and I know God was talking to me because he said, Madonna, you know how to put on a fashion show, right? Yes. You know how to teach people how to model. You know how to set up a back room. You know how to do that, right? Uh, you've done fashion shows with children of all ages, right? Yes. You're good at managing people. Yes. You're qualified to put on a fashion show for people with disabilities.
Mm-hmm.
What part of this are you making hard? You see what I mean? How
Yeah.
in our
Yeah.
minds, what are
Mm-hmm.
you making hard? I don't know how many fashion shows I've put on, hundreds and hundreds. So
Mm-hmm.
why am I making this hard? Why am I thinking about me first? I'm not being the best me. Well, obviously I did it. I talked to my students about it, gave them the sales pitch because it meant that, you see, we would put on 2 fashion shows twice a year. And it meant that my fashion students would only now be on stage in one fashion show.
Okay.
Okay. And my sales pitch to them was, this is going to be an absolutely extraordinary opportunity. You're going to give someone else a chance to be in the spotlight. You're going to do their hair. You're going to do their makeup. You're going to show them how to be models. Yes, this is going to be their moment. you know,
Mm-hmm.
and some of the students shared that, well, Mrs. Hanna, I'm scared of people who have disabilities. You're scared? Oh yeah, they're scary. Oh, like you don't know people who are scary who don't have a disability? You see how I had to help my students be their best selves
Yeah.
in order to take on this opportunity and also answer their questions and just, and not be punitive about it. Like, this is what we're going to do because I said so. But no,
Mm-hmm.
having that conversation. And then someone else said, oh, people with special needs drool. And I said, wait a minute. But before I could say something, one of the students said, yeah, I saw so and so drooling the other day when he fell asleep in class. Not my class, somebody else's class. And
Okay.
then everybody started laughing and said, yeah, that's right. I saw him drooling. So, oh, so you mean people who don't have disabilities drool? Oh, okay. So, I was able to get everybody on board.
Mm-hmm.
And Anthony, it was the most incredible experience for myself, for my students. And my students got to be their best selves and to learn about themselves through assisting the students with disabilities.
Mm-hmm.
They were able to overcome some prejudices that they had. They were able to be advocates for the students with disabilities
Mm-hmm.
because as they got to know the students, they would invite them over to their table for lunch.
Mm-hmm.
And one young man who was on the football team and yes, taking a fashion class, it was okay.
Mm-hmm.
Um, he called one of the special needs guys over, and his friends were like, I don't want him sitting here. And my student said, well, you have a choice. You can have lunch at another table or stay here, but I'm inviting him over. And I was so proud because he was being his best self. He was like, whoa, standing up for this person. And it was, yes, yes. And he would not have had that moment if I hadn't decided to do the fashion show.
Mm-hmm. I got it.
Some, Sometimes when people take us kicking and screaming into an opportunity, we don't know the benefits of what is going to happen. It's like a seed, and things begin to grow, and you're like, oh wow, look at this. this
Yeah.
is this is beautiful. And then it's it's just an opportunity that you would not have had. Um, Another young man, he was riding the city bus, and there was an adult who was making fun of a special needs person on the bus.
Okay.
And he said, my student said that he told the adult to stop bullying this person. He actually said, you're an adult and you should not be doing this.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he had the courage, and everybody in the bus was like, look at this kid standing up to this man. And when he shared this with the class, everybody started applauding.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought to myself, this would not have happened if I hadn't taken that step away from thinking about myself and why I didn't want to do something.
Mm-hmm. That's
You
very
see you see the magic and giving when you are being your best self, when it's
sure,
being
sure.
pulled out of you, and you start to share.
Yeah, sure. I see that. And at this point, I would like to thank you for bringing us, because you started by focusing on what is inside of us and the beauty therein. And then you come out now to show the outward appearance and making people with disabilities shine by taking an opportunity that you thought was not meant for you, but you realized it was not for you, it was for others.
Exactly,
Mhm.
exactly. Um, Anthony, something else that was just mind blowing that happened. My students, the very first special needs fashion show that we did,
Mhm.
we traveled to some of the locations where the special needs students were,
Mhm.
and then some of the special needs students came to our classroom. During one practice, which was about showing personality on stage,
Mhm.
because you can teach people the walks and the turns, the catwalk and the various turns, but
Yeah.
one has to have personality too.
Mm. Sure.
I had all the students lined up, the special needs students, and my students were off to the side, and their para educators who came with them were all seated behind me. And I asked everybody to wink. I winked first, and then everybody else started winking. And that was really exciting, Anthony, because the winks were, it's
Mhm.
like, oh, okay, all right. And the special needs students were teenagers to early adults, okay?
Okay.
And then I said, well, when we're wearing happy clothes, bright colored clothes, we smile. And I said, this is how we're going to smile. Yeah. I
Mhm.
want everybody to smile. And so everybody started smiling.
Mhm.
Behind me, I heard the paraeducators go, oh, and I'm like, what the heck's wrong with them? They were all like mumbling, but I wasn't focused on them because I'm focused on the students.
Yeah.
The next session, the paraeducators came back with the director for the special needs program for our school district.
Yeah.
I had the students lined up again, had everybody winking and smiling, and there was the, I'm like, what is going on? Afterwards, the director came over and hugged me, and she was crying. And
Mhm.
all the paraeducators were crying. And I'm wondering, what's wrong with these people? There was a young lady named Melissa. She's autistic.
Okay.
They, the staff and her parents, have been trying for a decade, for 10 years, to get her to smile, and she would not smile.
Mm.
So when I had everybody lined up and I told everybody to smile and the reaction came, it was because nobody could get her to smile.
Mhm.
And they went back and they told the director, well, Madonna asked her one time to smile and she smiled. And, and,
Mm.
and I thought, oh my goodness. Because from my end, I was thinking, what were these people doing to try to get this child to smile? But when you're in special education and your parents and this child just doesn't smile,
Mhm.
and then there it is. There's the smile. And maybe that's why I was supposed to have done this fashion show. And I'll tell you, Anthony,
Mm-hmm.
and your listeners and viewers, she never stopped smiling.
It
Once
kept on
she
smiling.
once she smiled, she just kept smiling, and she had a big, beautiful smile. You know, she wouldn't stop,
Mm-hmm.
and and everybody was just so just felt so grateful, and her parents um were just beside themselves because their child was smiling, and
Mm-hmm.
and they had even purchased new teeth for her because they thought if they if they purchased a set of new teeth for her that
Yeah.
she would smile. But
Mm-hmm.
I but it like you so nicely pointed out, that the experience was not for me. It was me taking this opportunity, using my talents and skills to help someone else, and all these extraordinary things started happening because I stepped out of my box.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I stepped out of my box and did something different.
Mm.
My box, yes, I can put on a fashion show blindfold,
Mm-hmm.
sure, but to do something different, to branch out. And I'd never written a book before, and I
Mm-hmm.
wrote this book, and then I was able to share pages about students, about people with disabilities in the book.
Mm-hmm.
And I mentioned earlier that I wrote a play based on my children's book and on the fashion show
Mm-hmm.
that with special for the special needs.
Mm.
And I received a grant to perform the play uh, in my school district and other school districts around Washington State.
Okay.
And it's an anti-bullying. Uh, it's an anti-bullying themed play, and it's about three groups of kids who have an opportunity to be in a fashion show.
Mm-hmm.
There's the popular kids, the outcast kids, and kids with special needs. And of course, we know who automatically knows they're going to be in the fashion show. Well, the popular kids, of course. And
Mm-hmm.
then the other, the special needs and the outcast kids are like, gee, they always get to do stuff and nobody ever picks us.
Yeah.
Hmm. It's because we're different. I'm blind. I weigh too much. My skin color, all this sort of thing. And the play went over very well. And of course, we know that everybody gets to be in the fashion show. But
Mm-hmm.
it was just kind of a nice way to reach out to children of all ages, to be able to uh, send out that message
Yeah.
about it's not okay to bully, that everybody is special and beautiful. And in fact, the name of the play is Beautiful Differences.
Yeah.
That everybody has their beautiful differences. And I also developed activities. I would ask the children, what's your beautiful difference? And of course, the beautiful difference was what they were teased about. But now it's okay because it's now my beautiful difference.
Ah,
Yes.
great.
You know,
Yeah, yeah, many times we look at something. I mean, we look at ourselves. We think that we are not the best because of the thoughts that we encourage in our own mind. We think that we are not the best because maybe my nose is shaped differently from the other person, and my color is different from the people that I'm meeting on the street. And we may have little kind of discouragement along the way, or big discouragement about living life, or we've seen other people go into depression because they are different. Now it's good
yes.
it's good that you come and tell us now that we should embrace our difference and see the beauty in it.
Exactly, exactly. Another story, since I'm telling.
Yeah, tell us.
Part of my grant, of course, was to visit different elementary schools in the district, and my students would come along with me. And in my fashion class at this particular time, I had 24 absolutely gorgeous teenage girls,
Mm-hmm.
16, 17 years old.
Yeah.
We were visiting a fifth grade class about 10 o'clock in the morning. And oh, the little boys were like, oh my goodness, look at all these pretty girls coming in here.
Mm-hmm.
And they were asking the girls for dates, and of course my students were very nice. Oh, where would we go? McDonald's. How would we get there? Do you drive? Oh no, my dad would drive us, all this sort of thing.
Yeah.
And there was one little boy off to the side who wasn't, as savvy as these other fifth grade boys.
Mm-hmm.
But my students gravitated toward him to ask him, like, what's your beautiful difference? And he had Tourette's syndrome. For those of you out there who don't know what Tourette's is, because you may have come across somebody with Tourette's, they sometimes have like a nervous twitch, or they might shout out things, sometimes swear words. It's yes, it's something that you could eventually grow out of.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're a child who has Tourette's and you've got tics and you're moving and you have very little control over your muscles and that kind of, it can cause, it can cause people to look at you and go, ooh, what's wrong with him?
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, about 5 of my students brought him over to me. Miss Hanna, this is Justin, and he has Tourette's. We've never heard of that before, Mrs. Hanna. Have
Mm-hmm.
you? Well, I was looking at little Justin, who was surrounded by these teenage girls. And I'm going to tell you, I lied to my students. I lied. Yes, I did. I lied. I said, I don't know what Tourette's is. Perhaps Justin can tell me. Oh, his little chest went up and he started explaining,
Mm-hmm.
to me. And my students were like, oh, and it was like the proudest moment of his life to share, his situation. And the other little boys are like, what? Justin's getting all the action over here with the girls,
Uh-huh.
and afterwards, after he shared his story, his little woes and things like that, how people look at him strange in restaurants and he swears and he can't help it. My students all hugged him and they said, Miss Hanna, can you take a picture of us with Justin?
Yeah.
And so here he is, surrounded by 20 beautiful high school girls. Now people will say, why is she saying they're pretty and all this sort of thing? They're all beautiful in their own way, but I'm just setting the scene for all these little boys seeing all these teenage girls come in,
Mm-hmm.
and I have to believe, Anthony, that to this very day, because perhaps Justin is in his late 20s, early 30s by now, that had to be the best day of his life. I mean, because the other boys are looking at Justin like he's got Tourette's. The girls like him. He's cool. Wish I
Yeah.
had Tourette's. I mean, come on. Because the other little boys are saying, well, I wish I had Tourette's. Now, all of a sudden, this Tourette's thing that had, caused Justin to, the kids wouldn't play with him,
Yeah.
didn't want any parts of him. But just this wonderful moment of having me and my high school students pay attention to him, me lying and saying, I don't know a thing about Tourette's. Tell me,
Mhm.
and him getting his pictures taken and hugged, and wow, that just made his day. And when we left, he was smiling, his little chest was out, and the boys were crowded around him because he was the guy,
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
and how else would he have ever had that experience? However could he have had that wonderful experience to share what was going on with him, and to just, now it's his beautiful difference. He doesn't have to be ashamed. I mean, if somebody looks over at him like, ew, he can go, yeah, chicks like me,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? It just
Yeah. Yeah.
gives him that, yeah,
Mhm.
you may not like me, I don't care, but I know 20, teenage girls who think I'm cool, and the boys in my class now think I'm cool, and the
Mhm.
girls too. Kids now play with me, there's, I mean, because we're always going to go through something in life. We're
Yeah.
always going to go through something in life.
Exactly.
But if we can look back on this moment of realizing I'm okay, I'm special. Yes, there are going to be people who don't like me because of how I look or act, but I'm me, I'm special, and I like me.
Mm. No
And
matter. Yeah.
and he can be the best little Justin that he can be, because it's going to give him confidence to do other things,
Mm.
confidence to go over to the other kids and say, let's do this or let's do that, come play with me today, or something, or even at home, or even he can be his best self by holding his head up a little bit
Mm.
higher, even after he has had an episode, because it's okay. He cannot help that. Just like
Mhm.
you and I cannot help the color of our skin, um, or something else about us, our height, or just something, because people get uh, uh, teased about anything,
Yeah.
where they live, the kind of car their parents drive, the kind of house they live in. You can be bullied about anything,
Mhm.
anything. We
Mhm.
know that,
Yeah.
absolutely
Sure.
anything. But just to have that satisfaction inside of knowing, that's right, this is me. My nose is shaped like this. It's beautiful. It's beautiful.
Mhm.
Um, and it's unique. It makes me unique. It doesn't matter if you don't like it. It doesn't matter. You're not paying my rent or doing this or that for me. You're
Mhm.
just passing through in my life. And this is me. I like me. I love me.
Mm.
Something I want to share with, especially if there's young people
Mhm.
or even adults who fall into this trap. When they put their business out on social media and people they don't even know make comments, negative comments,
Mhm.
why are you getting upset? You found, why are you getting upset? You don't
Mhm.
know those people. They don't know you.
Mhm.
They're just passing by,
They are passers-by.
making a comment. Now, first of all, you put yourself out there by putting this picture of you doing whatever, looking whatever way that you're going to look.
Mhm.
You put the picture out there. Once you put a picture out there, post something, you already know or should expect that people are going to make comments.
Mm.
You have to accept the consequences of what you have done by putting your business out there.
Mm-hmm.
Why get upset? And unfortunately, when people have said mean things, and you brought this up before about how people get depressed. Well, everybody online hates me. No, they don't. Just a couple of people you don't even know, or maybe they're classmates or whatever. They're just people who are insecure and they're being mean. That's
Mm.
all that is.
Mm-hmm.
Why are you giving them power?
Do not give
Why?
them the power.
No,
Yeah.
no,
Mm-hmm.
no, no.
Mm.
Because what does the bully want? The bully wants to make you unhappy. The
Yeah.
bully wants to make you cry. And
Mm-hmm.
and bullies are basically people who are insecure, hurt. Somebody is bullying them. There's that
Mm.
possibility that somebody's bullying them and they're taking it out on you.
Mm.
And people do not realize that. I can say it because I have been bullied.
Mm.
And I have even eventually befriended people who bullied me, and I've had students who were just horrible bullies, and I'd say, why do you bully? Why? And
Mm.
they'll tell me that, well, I used to be nice and people started bullying me, and then I got mean because I didn't like it, so I started bullying people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I get it. And thank you very much, Madonna, for everything that you shared. Now, we've seen that we've got to embrace the differences in ourselves, appreciate every difference, and see the good in it, and
Exactly.
not be worried about the expressions or opinions of other people towards us. And something that I've got from this is that take the opportunity once it's offered to you, because you never know
Yes.
what you can be achieving from it. Despite every challenge that you may think you have, you can be a life changer. So go for it. So we thank you, Madonna, for that.
Oh, and thank you for the opportunity that allowed me to share just from this one experience of, you finding out about the book and how it led to a play and a fashion show and all of that. How just that one thing, somebody asking me to do something that I'd never done before, and how it led to all these opportunities and people turning out to be their best selves. So thank you so much, Anthony.
Thank you. And we will be curious to know what's there between now and the future. What are you thinking? What are you planning? What is?
Oh my goodness. I am a competitive amateur sprinter, 50 and 100 meters. Didn't run anything in high school, didn't start sprinting until I was 57 years old. I've got a track meet coming up in a couple of weeks.
Hmm.
I am also um, looking at dusting off my Play Beautiful differences and working with some community theaters locally
Mm-hmm.
to because unfortunately bullying is still in style, so my play still is viable, so I'm working on that to bring it to local community theaters.
Okay.
I'm also I'm also a freelance writer. See, I'm not a writer, but then there's a book and a freelance. um, I've I've written an article for a very large uh, publication and organization called AARP.
Mm-hmm.
It's like everybody in America, once you turn 50, you belong to AARP, the American Association for Retired People. And I've written an article for them, which will be coming out in July, and it's entitled "I Became a Track Star After 60." After age 60, and I'm also going to be giving a presentation to a leadership group of special needs students. It's a special project from that our governor, the governor of the state that I live in, it's one of his pet projects. And I'm going to be talking about etiquette, you know, having good table manners, and how to dress for success when you're looking for a job. And as you can see, I still have my hand in working with teens with special needs, as well as trying to get the play going. And I'm running, and I'm doing some things in fashion too. So just stay out there and keep and speaking. Yes,
Yeah,
and
I'm
I'm also
speaking. Oh, yeah.
speaking to seniors.
Beautiful. And now, since you mentioned some numbers, yeah, I had 57. I was very attentive to that. And then you mentioned over 60. So, what's the current number?
How old am I now?
That's the question.
I'll answer it. I am 68.
Whoa, 68. And
Yes.
still moving on and doing and living your best, the best you.
Yes, I am.
That's beautiful. It's
getting better and better every day.
Is a great report to hear from you. So for people who are watching and those who may get to watch after we are through the recorded version, those who are going to listen to the podcast through the platforms that we upload, Apple Podcast, iTunes, and all the others that we upload to, how can they connect to you?
They can, excuse me.
Yeah, excused. Ready, be ready for this. Be ready for this.
Yes.
Yeah.
I do have an Instagram. Madonna, Fit, Fast, and Fabulous.
Yeah.
I have a website, Drop Kick the Drama.
That's a good one. Drop Kick the Drama.
Yes. You can tell I'm a retired teacher. I put that line in a commencement speech. Yes. You're moving on. Drop Kick the Drama. Yeah. Come on, let's go. And my email address, especially if people are interested in purchasing the book, contact me. My email address is madfashion2001@yahoo.com. And I'm sure you're going to put all this in your program notes, correct?
Yeah, and they'll write that. Yeah.
Yes.
And especially, the easiest way to get to you, I believe, would be the www drop kick the drama, and they can contact you through the contact page, I guess.
Well, yes, my email address is there that I gave.
Oh yeah, sure.
Yes,
they'll find it.
Yes, the best way to contact me is my email address.
Mad Fashion 2001. Yeah, I can actually see it here. Now I'm going to show it. 1 minute. Here it comes. Here it comes. I saw it. I did. Mad Fashion 2001@yahoo.com.
Yes, that's the best way, the quickest way to get a hold of me. Yes.
Beautiful. And we really appreciate you, and we thank you for taking your time and being here with us. But before you go, we still want to hear from you telling us some few words that we will always remember. Always.
The best thing that I can say is there are golden opportunities everywhere, and you need to get out there and mine your gold nuggets so that you can share with the world.
Beautiful. Yeah. There are golden opportunities everywhere. Now, the viewer, the listener, go and dig those golden opportunities. The world is looking upon you. As we heard from Madonna, you're not doing it for yourself. Just go for the opportunity because you're going to benefit the world at large. And we will appreciate you giving out your gift to us, because the gift that you've been given is not for you us to keep, is to give it out there.
You're absolutely right.
Mm. So at this point, we are coming to the end. And once again, we appreciate you, Madonna, for taking your time. It's been a wonderful time with you, sharing your nuggets with us. And we also appreciate every listener out there, every viewer. And go and be your best you. And say it's Madonna who said that. She told us. Okay. And now it's me, your host, Anthony Morode, with Madonna, and we are saying bye for now. Bye bye.